Oftentimes, we dream of the things that we don't have. We talk about the amazing achievements, the amazing experiences we never went through. I used to be that 10-year-old kid who stared at a ceiling, daydreaming, who read all those dystopian fiction books, wishing that I was the main character. Well, you are the main character. I am the main character. That, I feel like, is what we don't realize. We don't realize that we have full control over every single small thing that we do in our life. And every single one of these things would contribute towards something much greater, to your achievements, to your goals. What I want to talk to you about today is how we can destroy these limiting beliefs, these misconceptions that surround us, that take us back, or the terrible environments that we surround ourselves with, the terrible mental health that we have, and how you could achieve your goals today. You could start doing them. You could take action. You could stop being the person who daydreams. You could be the person other people dream to be. I'm going to talk about six ways why someone would not take action. The number one being procrastination. A lot of people think that they have a right time and a right place to do something. And I'm not going to approach this like any other YouTuber. I'm going to tell you a proverb that I learned when I was younger, all the way back in China, or the ancient days. And this Chinese story begins like this. There was once a young man that walked through a watermelon field, and he wanted to pick the biggest, the juiciest watermelon for himself to eat tonight. And he was walking through the field, and he was checking out every single watermelon. He was putting his knuckles against the skin. Then he was evaluating all the watermelons. Oh, then he found one. Oh, that one's quite good. But he thought about it again, and he was like, oh, I'm probably going to find a bigger one down the line. So I'm just going to stay put for now. Then he saw another one. Oh, that one's bigger. That one's more juicy. But oh, I think there's going to be a bigger one down the line. And he does that again and again, until the sun begins to set. And he realized that he doesn't have much time left, and that he had to leave the watermelon field. He left empty-handed. What this proverb tells us is that he not only lost his watermelon, but he lost the most precious thing you have in your life, which is your time. So the main thing, if you're dealing with procrastination, is to realize that you don't have time. The right time is now, because it saves you time. No matter what you do, you're always going to be stuck in the present. You're always going to think the same thing. Because once you realize that in the future, you're going to be thinking about the same thing that you are thinking right now, you might as well start right now. The second misconception I want to talk about is the lack of money. A lot of people think that they couldn't make it, they couldn't make the investment, they couldn't make the decision in their life because of the lack of funds. And although I've never properly experienced this kind of feeling, I do have a conceptual knowledge of how that works. And I do think that this really only gives you more reason to take action. This only gives you more reason to go out there and say, okay, I'm going to give it everything I got. I'm going to put every single thing on the line to make that money, in order to make that investment, to change my life in the future. This might mean taking on another job. I know this is not as simple as it sounds, but if you truly desire to take action, you truly desire to accomplish the dream you've been wishing for so long, the last thing you should do right now is relax, to sit back, to enjoy your free time. Because you're wasting that little part of you in the future. You're wasting the abundance of free time you will have in the future. And since time is such a precious object, you should not waste it right now. And what if you are without a job? What if you are a student? What if you're a person who is currently, just like me, not out there in the real world yet, but you still want to change your life? Well, there's no simpler way than online, like making money online. There's countless YouTube videos out there. You can search up literally making money online. Things like dropshipping, affiliate marketing, creating YouTube videos. There's such an abundance of resources available. Please take advantage of them and take action right now. The third misconception I want to talk about is the lack of time. A lot of people think that there's too many things and not enough time to accomplish those things. The example, the analogy I'm giving here is possibly the worst outcome that a person can probably have. Imagine you, either a pregnant mother or a person taking care of their child. You might be a single parent. That is probably one of the worst case scenarios you can ever experience. And the reason why is because you have no time whatsoever. You have to work a job, you have to take care of your baby. In that scenario, how do you take control of your life? How do you take action on the things that you truly, truly desire? Well, the first approach is an approach I think applies universally. This approach for everyone out there who might not be a pregnant mother, who just wants to achieve things but don't have the time. This one is talked about a lot online, and it's called outsourcing. The simple concept of outsourcing is you hire someone else by paying them to do the job that you don't want to do, but you save time for you. As a very simple example, if you don't want to queue for something, if there's a very long queue, you can ask someone to step in the queue for you. So you get rid of like 2-3 hours of time, they stand there, you pay them, and when your turn comes, you just switch in for them. You save that much time. And by using outsourcing, a pregnant mother can use like a babysitter, for example. And you as well, you know. If you have outsourcing, you can tell a friend to help you do something whilst you take care of the important work you need to get done. You can tell a parent, a family member, anyone. Outsourcing is so simple, and there's ways that you don't even need to spend money to outsource all the things that you need to get done. And what if you don't have money? What if you don't have relations? What if you don't have anyone around you that is willing to help in this scenario? I also say it's very important to make friends. If you don't have family that you can trust on, you know, make friends. And it's very important to basically tell your friend, can we make this deal? I have my baby lying with you for 3 days and I take it back for the next 4 days, you know, like a weekly deal or something like that. That would save you a lot of time. And this kind of thing relies on the fact that you have connections, but I'm pretty sure that most people would have a decent amount of connections or like true people that they can rely on in this scenario. And that is really, really important. It's similar if you're applying it to the real world. You can ask your friend to get something, you know, like for example, if you don't want to go to the supermarket, you can say, hey, is it fine if you pick up like toothpaste for me because I'm really working and I can't be distracted? Something like that. It's very simple. It's like a favor. It would change your life. The fourth misconception, I think this is one that would apply for many, many out there. This one is love's obstruction. It's very funny because who am I to talk about this, right? But after reading this book called The Alchemist, I remember this very clearly. And one of the main obstructions to the main character's life was that he didn't want to leave behind his girlfriend. And he found it very difficult to forget her. A lot of people, for example, want to take a job in the city, and they find it very difficult to leave their wife and children in the country. That's a very practical example, but it can really apply to any sort of, you know, love involved. I want to quickly summarize what happened in The Alchemist, because the main thing that the prophet in the story told the young boy when he was struggling to leave his girlfriend behind was he told the story of the boy's life. He said that if the boy did not leave his girlfriend, on the first year, he would live successfully. He would gain a lot of money, he would gain a lot of respect, and his girlfriend was very happy that he would stay here. On the second year, things get a little bit more tense, but he was still making a lot of money, he was still gaining a lot of respect, but his relation with his girlfriend deteriorates a little. And by the third year, total war outbreaks, and since he had a lot of money previously, him and his girlfriend was able to stay safe. But it starts getting more and more tense between their relationship. In the fourth year, they break up. It's one of these stories that tell you that if you don't go out there to seek your goal, you would forever regret not choosing that decision. One thing to realize is that your loved one would always, always respect your decisions. They would always, always support you. That is literally the criteria for having a person who loves you. And I hope that they would do that thing for you. They would support you. They would encourage you. Because that is going to help you fulfill your life's mission. And I hope that you can take action and try to realize the regret that you're going to face later in life if you don't take action right now. Misconception number 5. This could link a little bit with misconception number 4. This one is to everyone who think they have a lack of support, who thinks that the people around them, whether they be their family, whether they be their friends, really do not want them to succeed, or they're really against them. They have all these negative biases around your potential success. So what I would suggest, it's sort of what I'm doing right now, is to work like crazy in silence. One of the most powerful things that a man or woman can do is to work in silence, to not tell anyone about what you're up to, but achieve things yourself and manage to stay have humility, to stay humble, to realize that we're not going to spill anything until I actually make it. This is because a lot of people may have this kind of negative influence around you. They might put you down for the things you're trying to do. And it would gain you no good talking to these kind of people. On the other hand, if you have friends that are really good positive influences, really talk to them, because they would encourage you on your way. Tell them everything about what you're trying to do, and they would support you. They would always have your back. It's so, so key to have in these key moments, these hard times. If family doesn't support you, turn to friends. If friends doesn't, turn to family. If neither, walk in silence. Turn to God. Turn to God. And in the end, I hope that your results can really speak for you, because results speak louder than words. Hard work might speak, but it doesn't speak enough. People need to see concrete results for them to support you, for them to admire you, for them to look up to you. And you can do it with your actions. You can tell them with your actions, you can change your life. You can change their perspective upon you. And the very last one I want to talk about, perhaps is the most detrimental one, is the lack of self-belief. I feel like a lot of people might think that they are not good enough to actually achieve their dreams. They don't have the passion or the will or the fire inside of them to say, I really want to go out and I want to change my life and I want to change my perspective and I want to change everything, that little bit about me. Well, how can you get out of this hole? How can you say a person who really doesn't think they can make it, actually make it? For me, one thing that is absolutely essential is affirmations from other people. If one person hears a lot of affirmations, they start to gain respect for themselves. They start gaining confidence in themselves. And people who give these genuine affirmations often come from friends or family. If you think that you have even one person who would always encourage you, stick by them and tell them that you need their affirmations. Don't be sorry about asking them for, encouragement. because you really need it, and they're going to be the deciding factor in how you build up your self-esteem. I also want to talk about the step I really took. It's to take baby steps towards the larger goal that you're trying to achieve. This is also a form of taking action. But rather than going straight to the thing that you want to, like your dream goal, for example, your dream goal is writing a book, the little baby steps that you can achieve that would really shock you is, for example, make a publication for a magazine, or write this short essay that was actually really good and really influenced you and you thought about it a lot. These baby steps could be key to achieving your goal. For me, it was personally, I need to do things that really shocked me, to really believe in myself. For example, I ran a marathon. I was like, if I can do a marathon, I can do anything. And it's those little baby steps that give you so much confidence. And the last way, I think, how to defeat this dark energy inside of you is to live your dreams right now. I think a lot of the times, the reason why people think they don't deserve it is because they don't live it. They think that they walk by Starbucks and they think it's too expensive. It might be too expensive. It might be out of your league. But I want you to try once to live the life you want to live. You might go to the car store just to sit inside of the supercar. You might not even have 1 penny in your pocket, but sit in that supercar. Live that moment. Go to visit your dream house without buying it. What I did is that I went to the most expensive store in my town, and I tried on their most expensive watch out there, and I told myself that I'm gonna buy it one day. And I'm gonna buy it one day. Not that the watch means something to me. It's the fact that I deserve to be at that standard. I deserve to have that status later in life. And I think when you really live, you really have full presence in the beauty of what you're trying to achieve, you can accelerate your progress by tenfold. And this is it. I hope that you can go out and live your dreams. Take action right now. Don't go watch another video. Don't go search up any other thing on the internet. Quit your phone. Put it away. Take action.